Welcome to another edition of Joe Knows. Today we're going to check the old mailbag because we haven't checked the mailbag in a long time. So let's see what we got here. Okay, we have a postcard here from Global Chef Sergey Anayev from Irkutsk in Russia. All you Risk players know how important Irkutsk is. And Sergey says, Joe Knows, can you tell me if you have a good recipe for bread pudding? In Russia, we love bread pudding, and I'm wondering if there's an American recipe that you could share with me. Well, Sergey, I'm glad you asked that question because not only do I have a recipe for a great American bread pudding, I think it is probably the best bread pudding in the world. You're gonna love it. So let's get into the kitchen, Sergey, and I'll show you how we make bread pudding here in the good old US of A. To make your bread pudding, you're going to need eggs, butter, vanilla, challah, sugar, brown sugar, heavy cream, and that beautiful Wisconsin bourbon. You're also going to need some equipment. You're going to need parchment paper, half sheet pan, pastry brush, spoon, knife, measuring cups and spoons, some couple of pots, and a baking dish. I'm going to cut the challah into about 1/2 inch to 1 inch cubes. I'm going to weigh them out. I want to weigh out 24 ounces of those cubes. I'm going to lightly grease a half sheet pan and spread those cubes out on the pan. I'm going to toast them in an oven, 300 degrees, for about 30 minutes till they're nice and dry. While they're toasting, I'm going to separate some eggs. I'm going to measure out my sugar, and I'm going to stir that sugar into the egg yolks. Then I'm going to add some vanilla, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt, cream, and the milk, and mix it all together. I'm going to take out about 2 cups of the tops of those bread cubes because I'm going to save those and put those on top. The rest of the mixture I pour in with the bread cubes and mix it well. Put those wet bread cubes into the baking dish, and I'm going to let those sit for about 30 minutes to soak up all that liquid. I'm going to melt some butter, and I'm going to mix some brown sugar and white sugar that I'm going to sprinkle on the top. Put those reserved tops on top of the bread pudding and brush them lightly with butter. Then I'm going to sprinkle that brown sugar and white sugar mixture on top, and it's going to go into a 325 oven for 45 minutes. While that's happening, I'm going to make this beautiful bourbon sauce with that nice Milwaukee bourbon, some cream, some brown sugar, mix that together, stir in the butter to melt, and then I'm going to pour in that fabulous bourbon. Let's have a taste, shall we? Bread pudding is coming out of the oven. We'll use a cake tester just to check to make sure that it's done all the way down to the bottom. Comes out nice and clean. We're going to dish off a little bit of this right onto a plate. And we're going to cover it with that fabulous bourbon sauce. Oh my goodness, that looks delicious. Sergey, before today, you didn't know how to make a beautiful bread pudding like this, like we have here in America with this beautiful bourbon sauce. But now you do, Sergey, and you do because Joe's Knows.